What is up, guys? Welcome to Tisdale's Anabolic Kitchen. Today we finally got the loaded anabolic pub chips, and it's finally my first recipe that's actually my own. This isn't a review. This is something that I came up with, and you guys are gonna like it, so let's get in our cooking gear. Okay, alright guys, so at first I'm gonna show you how to make the actual chips that we're gonna be using for the pub chips. I already made some in advance because it does take a little while to cook, so I wanted to get them over with before. I'll show you how to make a couple chips. So first, I peel the potato because I feel like it just makes them come out cleaner. And when you take the skin off, you get a couple more potatoes. And that's what we want. More potatoes for the same amount of calories. Alright. Move that out of the way. So I have a pretty nice mandolin, but you can use the hand one or whatever, but I suggest using these instead of a knife because you can't get them thin enough, and you want them all pretty equal, because if not, some will cook really well, some won't, and it's kind of just a hassle. All right, so we'll make about this many just for video purposes, and you're gonna want to clean them off. So I get a bowl with some water because there's a lot of starch in the potatoes, and if you don't clean them off, they will not crisp up right. They burn really quick and they get kind of gross. So I set them in some water, clean them off. The water will turn white, and you just do this process repeatedly for 2 or 3 more times until the water stays clear. Right, now my water's pretty clear. Like I said, a lot of times I have a lot more potatoes in here than just this. We use, let's see, 296 grams of potatoes total for the recipe. But like I told you guys, I'm just using a little bit just to show you. So you want to you're going to let those sit in the water while you boil a pot of water. I have a steaming pot, so it kind of works out well for me. I can just let this thing sit. Fill it up with water. And basically what we're doing with the boiled water, you don't have to use one of these, you can just boil water on the stove, but what it does is you pour the boiled water on the potatoes and it blanches the potatoes. It cooks the inside a little bit, so that way when you put it in the air fryer, the chips get crisper faster rather than have to cook all the way through. And they don't burn, and we don't want burnt chips because they taste disgusting. So I'm gonna let that boil for a second. All right, now the water's boiling. We just turn it off. Take it off here. Pour the water out. Pour the boiling water in. Like I said, this is to blanch the potatoes. Cooks the inside just a little bit so that way they fry better. And you're going to want to let that sit for 5 minutes. Alright, so now we're just going to pour the hot water out. Alright, good. So what you're going to want to do is take the potatoes. You got to dry them off because you don't want them to be too wet. So I lay out a kitchen towel. Spread them all over the kitchen towel here. And then boop boop. All right. And I grab some paper towels. And you just pat them dry. that should be good right there. And then I'll get my bowl. That's kind of a big bowl. Oh, well, it'll be alright. Usually there's a lot more potatoes in here, but for the sake of the video, I'm just doing a couple because it does take a minute. So throw all of them in there, and what you'll see online when you look up the homemade potato chips, everyone puts oil on the potatoes, which doesn't make any sense because it's going to add like at least an extra 100 calories to all your potatoes. So all I do is take some Pam, spray it on the potatoes, and kind of rustle them around a little bit. It's just some butter flavored Pam. And I use my popcorn garlic parmesan seasoning. I add just a little sprinkle of that and just put them around, and then we're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna use my 0 calorie, forgot to say that, 0 calorie, instead of 0 calories, okay. I'm gonna spray the bottom of the pan, that way we don't get no sticking or anything. You're gonna wanna layer the potatoes out. You can have them overlapping a little bit, like that, but you don't want too much overlap because then they won't cook. But we don't have a ton, so we can spread them out quite a bit here. Beautiful. So the way this works is throw them in. You're going to want to air fry them. You want the temperature to be down at 300 degrees at first to cook through, okay? We're going to do that for 8 minutes. You want to check them halfway through, spin them, flip them. If any of them are sticking together, you want to unstick them at 4 minutes and then do another 4 minutes. So 8 minutes total at 300 degrees. All right, so now that the 8 minutes is done, give them another flip around, spread them apart. They're not going to be done yet. They'll start crinkling, but they're not done yet. We'll put them back in. Now we're going to raise the temperature to 350. And I take the time down to 5 minutes, and you'll cook them halfway through, check them, spread them apart, and then we'll go from there. All right, so now they're all done. You may have to take some of them out at a time because some of them will cook faster than the others. So just get a plate, and you can take them one out at a time if you have to, till they're all cooked. But they're all done here. Nice. They're super crunchy, okay? And we get a lot. So the reason we cut them so thin, the reason we do potato chips instead of French fries is because if you cut them into French fries, it only fills about half the plate. And the idea is if we cut them thin, get a lot more, we get more volume for the same amount of calories. Therefore, it seems like we're eating more, get more full, all right? So now that we got all the chips in here, what we're gonna do we're gonna grab our scale, handy dandy, and we're gonna weigh out the cheese. So we're using fat-free cheddar cheese, all right? Instead of 110 calories per serving, it's 45 calories per serving, and we got 9 grams of protein per serving. And we're probably gonna use around 3 to 4, we'll see. So, grab a little bowl here. So it's 28 grams per serving, so we'll start out with 56. So that's 56 right there. So we'll probably go a little bit more than that because I know I like my cheese and I like my pub chips full of cheese as well. So we'll go with 1 more serving. Beautiful. Close enough. All right, so what I do is come in here. I get the chips kind of balled up to the side of the air fryer. You can see they're all kind of like subbed up in the side of the air fryer here. And I take my cheese and I just spread it throughout. Alright, and I leave a little bit of cheese left over for the next part. So you can add any type of protein you want to this meal. I'm using some fajita, beef fajita steak. It's 110 calories per serving, 19 grams of protein. I usually cook my own chicken and make like some fried chicken or something like that, but this works just as good and it's super high in protein. So what we'll do, we'll just, actually, I forgot one of the most important parts. Bacon bits. It ain't pub chips without the bacon bits. So for about 7 grams, you got 30 calories. So I'll usually do about 14 grams here. And if you want to make it less calories, you can cook turkey bacon and crumble it all up, but ain't nobody got time for that, so we're just gonna use regular bacon here. So we got 60 calories of bacon, which is not that much, and it gives us a little extra protein, and it's really honestly the only thing in the entire thing that's gonna have fat in it, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, so now that we got the bacon on there, I'm gonna throw the steak on top here. And then we'll throw the rest of our cheese over top of the steak. That way the steak stays to the chips. All right. And then we'll throw it back in. And I lower the temperature down to 300 because I don't want the chips to cook any more than they already are because they're done. So we don't want that to cook any longer. And I'll leave it in there. I'll check it every 2 to 3 minutes because I don't want anything to burn because everything's already cooked. We're just trying to melt the cheese. So that's why I put it on such a low degrees. And while it's cooking, I'll show you guys kind of the toppings we got. We got some green onions. And this is the Game Changer Walden Farms Ranch Dressing. 0 calories, no fat, no sugar. And it is the only ranch dressing that's low calorie or 0 calories that tastes good. The rest of them just, I don't know why, they're just gross, but I can handle that. I put it on my anabolic pizzas, I put it on everything. So we'll let this cook. All right guys, so we're gonna check it. It's probably done here. So that's what it's gonna look like when it's all done. It's not gonna be super melted like you would see cheddar cheese because the fat-free cheese doesn't really melt very well. So pull this out here and we'll just slide this off here. Okay, and oh, look at that, a little heart. I didn't even try to do that. All right, so get a little bit of the leftover chips out of the bacon because we're not trying to waste. We add it to the calories, we'll get it out. So this is my favorite part. So we're gonna add some of the green onions here on the top for some flavor here. And then gotta use the teeth sometimes. And that right there, guys, is your anabolic loaded pub melt. All right, 635 calories. I'll put the macros right here, but 635 calories and 75 grams of protein. That is a huge amount of protein for one meal. Put the carbs and stuff up there. I didn't count that. I don't really care about that because all I really care about is calories and protein, because we all know it's CECO, calories in, calories out, okay? So I'm gonna enjoy this meal. You guys subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell button, that way you get notified when I make a video. I got more stuff coming out like this, okay? Some homemade recipes, new recipes that are my own, and also gonna be doing some more review videos. Gonna be doing kind of road to my show coming out here soon. Also, these are behind me. I might as well show you guys. Me and my brother, Corey Tisdale, made lemon cake mini donuts with some glaze, lemon glaze, and they're phenomenal. We're gonna put them up on the channel here soon too. We just cooked them this morning. It was our first try, so we kind of were messing with it. We're gonna try to perfect it a little bit more, so we're not gonna put it out yet. Stay tuned. All right, thank you guys.
Guaranteed.
How crunchy is that?
Cannabis for sleep.
It's legal now.
It's legal, but it's still
Crunchy. A little bit of.
We're gonna talk. I'm gonna do a video on